All right, guys, it is Friday afternoon, and I am still not finished with bodywork on the chassis. Go figure. Anyway, I'm wore out. I'm exhausted of it. My knees are swelled up so bad, it hurts to get up and down, so I'm having to go about it pretty slow. I come in here and forgot that I had this. I got this for Christmas a few years ago, and I never use it, so I'm going to get this out here now. But anyway, I did this thing completely bass-ackwards. I should have finished all my welding, grinding, cutting, all the metalwork stuff first. Got the frame all prepped, wiped down, and then I should have just kept mixing batch after batch after batch of body filler and just wiped the entire thing. I've been doing it section by section, and when I find a spot, I'll fix it and go back and fix that area. And it's just taken forever. If I'd have wiped the whole chassis, I could have then went through and sanded everything and then went back and accordingly put on filler, you know. So, lesson learned on that. There's not much of grinding left to do. The only thing that's left, I was actually giving my compressor a break. I've got to finish the center loop, half loop there. Got a little bit of grinding to do. And other than that, it's all pretty much ready for filler now. So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to let the compressor cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to go in and grind that down and get it ready. And then I'm just going to start mixing batch after batch and just wipe this thing. It'll be 10 times faster for me. But anyway, this really sucks, man. I mean, this has been a big mess because every little section needs filler. It's all misshaped. I guess from just being bent in a press or whatever, you know, it's just not, it's ripply and wrinkly. And but anyway, so that's kind of the plan. That's what I'm going to do right now. What I'm going to do is after this body work is finished, I'm going to go through and I'm going to mix up the Z-Chrome, and I'm going to go ahead and spray this part of the frame. And then I'll let it set a day or two, and then I'll get somebody over here to help me flip it over, and then I'll continue my work up here at the front, because I'm just doing this front area, you know. But as far as all the sides, everything, all that'll be done, you know. And I'm not doing the top, of course, back there where the body's going to be on it. But once that Z-Chrome's on this part, that'll be a good break for me to get off of it. And I can go ahead and wet sand my body and go ahead and get it painted. This will happen next week, more than likely. I'm about 99.9% sure I'm going to be painting this body next week. I'm not sure what day and weather permitting, because as I've said before, if it's raining, there ain't gonna be no painting. I don't like the idea of that moisture being trapped in between two panels when you're layering paint on. I just don't like that. Anyway, what else? Talked to my boss on the phone, my new boss. You know, I'd stated that I got a job. I was supposed to start, or I told him I'd start August 1st. And then we noticed that it was actually midweek. It was going to be starting on a Wednesday, and my wife and I's anniversary is on the 2nd. So I called him and we talked a little bit, and he said I could just come in the following Monday. It wasn't no big deal. So he sounds like he's going to be a really cool boss so far. So anyway, so I gained a couple extra days that way. I really don't think I'm going to make it with my goals, getting the body painted and the chassis painted and bolted back together. I'm not going to stop trying, but it has slowed me down immensely because my body is just, it's wasted. It's good high 90s on temp outside, and it's already an oven under there. But as soon as the compressor cools off, I can feel the heat off of it standing right here. I mean, you can just feel it, and you can kind of smell it. It's been running a while, because I go around for, I'd say, a good 30 minutes. And that thing just stayed running. But, man, it's close. It's almost there. Just a little bit more. I actually got the rear panel, too, where I'd put a Chevrolet script out of a valve cover in that chassis back there. I've got all that body work, too. I've still got to do the up inside the edges there. But and then there's little spots I've found, you know, I've had to go back and put filler on. But I've decided that I'm just going to kind of rough it in this way. Instead of trying to finish it all out and make it perfect, I'm just going to go ahead and just hose it with 3 coats, heavy coats of Z-Chrome. And that that will take care of a bunch right there. That'll build it up good, and it should block out really nice. But kind of been thinking about my color choices. You know, I was going to do black in the front, and first I was going to do gray in the roof and the back half back here. Then I kind of decided maybe I'd use a blue that I have here, a blue pearl, and I'm just, you know, after thinking about it, I'm just not a blue guy. I just don't, I don't think I would, I don't think I'd stay in love with it, is what I guess I'm trying to say. The black and gray, it's been done to death the last couple of years, but it is a classic looking combo. So the car will stay looking classy, and that's kind of what I'm after. You know, I'd like to, like, maybe every couple of years, maybe change the wheels or something on it, so to give it a new look, you know, but the black and gray, I think, you know, it'll always stay kind of, it'll stay looking nice and classic looking. But anyway, I guess that's about it for an update, but I wanted to get this chassis and primer today, but it ain't gonna happen. There's no way. I'd say it'll be the rest of the day today, probably all day tomorrow, and then maybe it'll be ready for Z-Chrome. But anyway, you know, Sunday I usually take the day off with my wife, but she knows I'm trying to get this done, so we might end up staying here, and I might go ahead and just try to do what I want to do to the car. So anyway, I guess that's about it. So I guess I'll get back to sweating, and I'm doing a lot of that.